let's start with a game, shall we? So this is a little game. Okay, it's called a continue the story. Very, very simple. I will start with a sentence, just one sentence per student. I will start with the first sentence, and then you just follow along. Just keep it going. The trick here is not to be Shakespeare, or well, if Shakespeare comes out, then that's okay. But don't try to be Shakespeare, okay? We're not, creating a masterpiece. It's just warm up, and whatever comes to mind, in the moment. See, don't go deep into it. So, for example, okay, like in the morning I woke up, okay, and then I went over to the coffee machine and I was very shocked. New student. There was a bird standing on top of whatever, and then actually whatever comes to mind is okay. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, just kind of to get a flow. Okay, so I'm going to start for the first one. I will start. Okay, in the 1950s and 1960s, something revolutionary started taking place. Okay, so Eva.
Oh, I was afraid it would be me. Yeah. So, and I couldn't help but think what would happen in the future.
Okay. Renata.
Sorry, Eva, what did you say?
Yeah, I basically a nonsense, but I couldn't. I was really curious about what is going to happen in the future.
So I should say what happened in the future.
I don't know. We deal with it. I'm sorry.
Okay. And because I was curious to know what would happen in the future, I started to be interested in techniques, in special meditation techniques, how to look into future.
Very nice. Okay, Eva.
Well, because I was interested in that technique, I went to the library and I borrowed some books about that.
Okay, great. Jana?
Having read the books, I realized that I owned or possessed certain supernatural abilities, and
Nice.
I became a psychic.
Okay, and the last part of the story, the last sentence of the story, Hannah.
However, the authorities uncovered my fraud and they put me in prison for 5 years.
Wow, okay, the end. Okay, interesting. All right, so Renata, you start this story.
Oh, I could start the story.
Yes.
Okay, so I will start something stupid. So once upon a time, a cucumber met a tomato.
Oh, nice. I like that. Original, very original. Okay, so Renata and Hannah.
And the tomato said, "You look very cool today."
Okay, Jana.
Oh, thank you for your compliment. I was just about to say that I love your color. How can I get it?
Very nice. Okay, Eva.
Well, you have to spend more time in the sun.
Okay, great. And Eva, last sentence of the story.
When you meet a cucumber so cool as you are, you might start blushing. That's another way of getting the color.
Yes, exactly. So the cucumbers and the tomato blushed, and then they were the same color. Yes. Very nice. Okay, great. So that's just a little warm up. Okay, you could do a lot of variations of that, but I like that, and it's interesting to see how the stories kind of change, you know. Or sometimes I've done experiments, you know, with different groups, and they wrote a story, but then they told, you know, they had to write 5 sentences of a story, and they only said the first one, and then, you know, everyone shared how they thought the story would develop after that. It was very interesting to see people's psychology. Okay. All right, great. So when I write this word, okay, let's start very general. Okay. Okay, look at this word. Okay. What's the first thing that comes to mind? So Eva, what do you think of?
When I think of space,
Yes. When you think of space, what comes to mind?
the planets, the solar system.
Okay, nice. That's a good one. Solar system, we'll talk about that. This one will come up later. Solar system. Okay, very good. And Jana, what do you think of?
I think of freedom.
Freedom. Can you explain that? That's
Or
interesting.
yeah, not being limited to anything, infinity, and infinite opportunities.
Wow, that's very
Sorry,
philosophical.
freedom wasn't probably the best one.
like
Infinite. Oh yeah, I'm very philosophical. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I
Infinite
like that.
opportunities.
Infinite opportunities. That's amazing. Very good. And Hannah, what do you think of?
I wanted to say the same as Jana, infinity was my word, but I would say heavenly bodies.
Heavenly bodies. Oh, okay. Very, very poetic. So I see we're starting very heavenly bodies. Okay. So any examples, or which heavenly bodies are the main ones? Are you more attracted to
Stars, definitely stars.
Definitely stars. Okay, great. Okay, next one. Okay, so let's see. Eva, what do you think?
Well, actually, more down to earth things, like having some kind of space around me. So space of being like personal space, either in a room or just, you know, like with people. Sometimes some people are too, I don't know, there's too much of them around you, and it feels like you are suffocating because.
Oh wow.
So sometimes it's good to be alone and having your own space to do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so privacy.
Privacy,
or having your own space. That's important. So it's not just space like outer space, but even the space here and even the inner space. You know that we talk about. Okay, great. And Renata, I think you're the last one for this one. Yes. What do you think?
The thing I imagined was the black color or the darkness.
Oh.
If you imagine things in the space, I imagine the darkness, which is a little bit scary because it's something unknown. You don't know what there is.
Yes. Wow, that's so interesting. So darkness, and maybe connected a little bit to fear there. Okay, so we have a lot of very different associations that we have here with space. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, as you can tell, we'll talk about space. Okay, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. Many people are saying that this is the year of space. After 1969, it kind of went away. You know, before that, everybody was talking about space. Everybody was watching TV, like, wow, space. Then nothing for 50 years. Actually, the truth is that they've been working for 50 years. They just haven't told us. And it's not been in the news. It's not been part of the public discourse, but they've been active. And this is a year when it comes back. So it's like 1969 again. And I'll talk about a few projects related to space travel. But first, we want to set the stage. So first, I'd like for you to look at the quiz. Okay, we'll have a short little quiz here. So I'm sharing, if you got my email, you got the worksheet, the PDF. If you didn't get it, then I'm putting it in the chat. So open up the chat and you can find it there. And it'll be a mini breakout session. So just about maybe 90 seconds where you will, with your partner or your partners, you will see if you can answer these 3 questions in number 1 correctly. So it's just this one right here. This, okay. How many people are in space right now? SpaceX is, and how many planets are there in the solar system? All right, so let's go into our breakout rooms. Okay, I think we'll have 2 groups. Okay, great. And if you have any questions, let me know. Send me a message.
So
Aren't there any international ships in space right now? Inhabited? I would say maybe 2 to 4.
Yes, I would also go for B.
Because I think there are some Russians in space working in these international spaceships, aren't there?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. That's
So 2 to
very
4.
interesting. Okay, so you're going for the middle one.
Okay, so we go for, or I go for B.
What about the second one? So Eva, can you start that one?
SpaceX is wow. I think it's a private company. It could be a private company.
Does anyone know anything about SpaceX?
Is it
Elon
a
Musk
company?
project or no?
Yeah, yes, correct. Elon Musk.
I would say it is a private company, but has Elon Musk something to do with it?
Yeah. He's involved in a lot of things these days.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's
the one who financed last year's project, right?
Exactly. Well, he's the CEO, the founder and the CEO of SpaceX. But we'll talk about it more as a group, but that was correct. It is a private company. Okay, so do the last one and maybe discuss it more in detail. I'll check with the other group.
Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus,
And Neptune.
So that should be 8. Yeah, I just left some out.
And which planet has been left out?
I think Pluto, yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's been decided it's not a planet.
And why? Why is that?
Poor Pluto. It was about the physical attributes it has. I'm not quite sure, honestly. It's the furthest away, and it's just.
Yes, there were a few characteristics.
Yes.
So I think there were three criteria, 3 points. When they were deciding, and then it didn't meet one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's.
I'm not sure which one it was. Yes.
Perfect. So we'll go to the main one and we'll check these answers in the main. All right, so let's check this one. Okay, so let's see how much you know about space. So, number 1, how many people are in space right now? What did you have? So let's see, maybe Jana, what did you have?
Well, we discussed. My thought was, or I think there are some Russians in space for a long time. It's a long-term mission. Some space stations. So my guess was 2 to 4. I was even thinking 5 or more, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so actually,
I think there are some. The Russian space program is still going on.
It's still going, yes. So it's 5 or more. Yeah, 5 or more is the one. So
yeah.
There's you said something about the IS something.
ISS, International Space Station. Sorry.
Yeah, ISS. So who can tell me what ISS stands for?
I think Ina has just said it.
Yep. The
International Space Station.
Correct. Yeah. So that one's kind of like the checkpoint. That's where, they do a lot of research there. Also, they provide support for spaceships, and there are always a few people up there. And I think the nationalities change. So, maybe some Russians, like I said, mostly Americans, but, Canadians, I think, and, actually a lot of countries have been represented. Actually, even Czechs have been represented up there in space as well. I remember there was a Czech astronaut a few years back. So you see, so it's very international. Okay, great. Now the next one, SpaceX. So let's see, maybe Eva, what did your group say?
Well, SpaceX is a private company.
Yes. Okay. And who can tell me more about this company?
Well, it's a private company owned by Elon Musk, who is some kind of a, let's say, visionary. You know, he's got a goal to fly to Mars and to settle on Mars. And I think that he said that he would like to die on Mars. So this is his mission, to just keep going and improve space space exploration. Just I don't know. It's the Mars mission, I think.
Exactly. Yes, this is company. His company SpaceX, and it is a private company. Okay, so that's correct. And the last one. Okay, so let's check with you. So maybe Renata. Yes. Or actually, let's see.
So how many planets are there in the solar system? So we think 8, because we used to be told that there were 9, but now there are 8. So things are changing, even in the universe.
Yes, constant change. That is the one law, you know, that applies to the universe. Yes, constant change. And so, does anyone know what happened with Pluto, or what happened? Yeah.
I think they now consider it, I don't know the word in English, but it doesn't have the size of a planet, or doesn't reach out up to the standard to be called a planet. So is it like a mini planet, or we call planeta for planets, and planetka like the little small planet or something like that.
The term that I've heard is planetoid. Like planetoid.
Planetoid. Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard. Yes, and it's a complex set of criteria that, you know, that planet must meet if they're to be called a planet. And if it's not a planet, then it's a planetoid, you know, or a heavenly body. I like that word. Yes, great. So let's go and practice a little bit our expressions, our grammar here. So for number 2, okay. So let me share the screen here and show you. So here we have a few sentences. You know, you're all very advanced. So it should be quite easy. So all of these are expressions that relate to likelihood or certainty. Okay, so 100% sure. All of these 3 sentences are, you know, represent 100% certainty. These 3 sentences right here talk about almost sure, being almost sure about something, and this one is low certainty, when you don't think so. So see if you can fill in the blank with these. If you are finished before the other group, okay, start using these expressions in your own sentences. And so basically all of us, we use most of the time the same expressions. About 20% of all the vocabulary that we know, we use it all the time. So here, if there is one of these that you don't use, you know, often, for example, bound, to be bound to, you know, experiment with your partner, or there is a strong likelihood of something happening. Okay, maybe you don't use that too often. So we'll take a couple of minutes for this one, and we'll break out into our rooms and work on these sentences. So there we go. All right.
No takže já tady jako normálně chodím po baráku, hledám si místo, kam se vrtnu. A já myslím, že to je lehký, ne? Že za ně musíme nějak to. Jak se máš?
Dobrý.
Jo. Cože?
David is here with us, so.
Oh,
But that-
okay.
No, but it's okay.
Well,
It's okay, you know.
David, you
no
are
problem.
a spy.
No, it's fine. I'm just
No.
checking. I'm the Zoom spy. The Zoom spy, yes.
See, I didn't switch it to the gallery view, and that was the big mistake.
Oh, yeah. See, we're learning. We're
That's
learning.
why, and I was thinking like, why is Eva smiling so strangely?
Yes, yeah. No worries. You know, if you want to check in with and check a little bit, just no problem. I love tech.
Colleagues.
Of course.
No, we discussed that Yana is in a cottage in the
Mhm.
mountains,
Yeah.
and her Wi-Fi signal isn't strong. And I had the same problem a month ago, and I had even probably a worse problem because the electricity went off, so I couldn't work last.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
unfortunate. But luckily, Elon Musk is designing some satellites that will send out internet to the whole planet. So you'll be able,
Oh, wow.
you'll be able to get Wi-Fi anywhere.
Yeah.
So no excuses then.
No excuse. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
I'm walking around the house and looking for the best signal to be heard and to hear and
Yes,
see.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So whenever
Okay.
you're ready, we can start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All our computer equipment will be replaced in the near future,
Very good. Yeah, that's quite easy.
right?
Okay. And then
If
Eva,
you have personal problems, it's bound to affect your work.
yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. And after all his hard work, he's certain to pass his exam.
Yeah, very nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first and third sentences,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they are interchangeable here. So there is a good chance that a recession can be avoided, or there is a strong likelihood that a recession can be avoided. Would you say
Yeah.
that?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. So what's left for the second one?
Probably likely to.
Likely. Likely, so likely.
Yeah, I agree.
Ourselves are likely to rise next month. It's possible.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the last group.
Okay, Eva, do you want to start?
They had begun to doubt, probably.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say the same.
Okay. And Hannah?
The lack of evidence means that the case is unlikely to go to court, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Unlikely. Yeah, that's true.
And
There is no chance.
Yes, there is no chance. Exactly. Okay, so start thinking. We have about a few seconds here. So start maybe thinking about or just experimenting with some of these expressions. So there's for example, there is a strong likelihood that I will go for a walk this afternoon because it's very nice outside. Okay, so for example, okay. Very good.
Well,
All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I think we're still missing one person. Let's see, where is, oh, okay, Eva's here. Fantastic. Okay, so let's check this briefly. Okay, so we can get to the good stuff. We can get to the good stuff. All right, so let's annotate this.
yeah.
Perfect. So why don't we start with Renata?
So the first sentence, all our computer equipment will be replaced in the near future.
Correct. Okay, so that's easy. Okay, very good. Hannah, number 2.
If you have personal problems, it's bound to affect your work.
Correct. Okay, so we'll do this one. We'll go around here. Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, and Eva?
After all his hard work, he's certain to pass his exams.
He's certain. Yes, 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 that's correct. So we'll go around here. He's certain to pass his exams. Okay.
And David, can I ask you, can you say he's bound to pass his exams as well?
Yes, yeah, you could say that. Actually, yeah. So 2 and 3 are interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
It's certain. It's certain sounds a little bit awkward. It's, you know, it is certain. A situation can be certain, so it is correct grammatically. But but the expression normally is it's bound. But you can say someone is bound to do something as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're correct. Yes, that's a good. Thank you for mentioning it. Yeah, they're interchangeable. Okay. Now the next one. Let's see. So that was 1, 2, and then Eva. I think you're next.
Mm-hmm. There is a strong likelihood that a recession can be avoided.
Okay. There's a strong likelihood. Yes. 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 Strong likelihood that a recession can be avoided. That's true. We'll go around here. Okay. And Jana.
Our sales are likely to rise next month.
Rise. Okay.
Which is a very optimistic sentence, I would say. But
yes, great. And Eva.
There's a good chance that he will run for president next year.
There's a good chance, yes. There is a good chance that he will run for president next year. Okay, so let's start back. Renata?
Here, they have begun to doubt that it could be done.
Yes. Okay, so what would be the best way to do this? We can just go around here, yes. Okay, good. Okay, and then Eva? No, actually, Eva? Sorry.
The lack of evidence means that the case is unlikely to go to court.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Yes, that's correct. Good. And last one. Okay, last one, Hannah.
There is no chance our company will sell more cars.
Yes, no chance. Okay, no chance. So right now I'll give you about 1 minute, 60 seconds, okay, to use these expressions right here, these expressions to and create your own sentences. So like I said before, try to use the expressions that you wouldn't typically use. Okay, so for example, will, that one, we use it all the time. Okay, so we don't want to use that one. Okay, so maybe this one, maybe this one, maybe this one. Okay, so 60 seconds on the clock, and let's come up with a few sentences. Okay. All right, everyone. So let's hear some of these sentences that you have for us. So let's see, Hannah, can you begin, please?
Mm-hmm. There is no doubt that some companies will struggle in the next year because of recession.
Correct. Okay. Do you have another one?
Me?
Yeah,
No.
you have another one? Okay, okay, good. Okay, so Eva?
There's a strong likelihood that I will play the piano after the class ends.
Oh, that you will play the piano. Oh.
Yeah, because I'm the only one in my house, so I can do whatever I want.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how long that will last, so I have to use every minute.
Yes, that'll be relaxing. Great. Okay, great. Okay. Do you have another one or just that one?
I'm bound to finish my exam sheets this weekend.
Okay. Can you say that again?
I'm bound to finish. I'm about to finish preparing Maturita exam sheets.
Oh, yes. Okay, great. Great, great. The Maturita or the leaving exam? You can also say that.
Well, leaving exam, yeah.
That's the same.
We call it Maturita all the time, but yeah, you're right.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Okay, so Jana, what do you have?
It's highly unlikely that I will lose weight during the lockdown.
Same, yeah, for all of us, yeah.
Well, yeah. So, and on a more positive note, I have no doubt that my daughter will pass her school leaving exam despite the current situation.
Wow, that is a great sentence. Yes, 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 nice. And Eva?
There is no chance of winning if you don't train hard. Is the preposition correct?
If you don't train,
No chance of winning.
no chance of winning. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And there is a strong likelihood that the final exams will be changed this year.
Will be postponed? Or the
Not
actual
postponed.
exams? The actual exams, the content of the exams will be changed.
Maybe they will cut it short.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
they will eliminate one part of that.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
Maybe. I hope. For my students, I hope.
Yeah, it's been a challenging year. Sometimes we do have to adapt. That's true. And Renata?
Well, so my sentence is, for example, I'm bound to correct all the essays I said last week. And something similar to what we have heard already, there is a good chance that I will go for a walk after the lesson, and I doubt I will manage to do everything I have planned for today.
Oh, wow, nice. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so the next one is going to be a discussion. Okay, so here I want you to take your time to, to explore these issues. Okay, so all of these, they are predictions. They are predictions. Okay, and with your partner or partners, just discuss them and maybe talk about the likelihood. So here I encourage you to use these as well. Okay, and just discuss. So take your time. The important thing is to enjoy it. And if you're, so don't think academically like, oh, you have to do every single one, or you just have to, match it to to an expression. Just discuss it, talk about it, go deeper. If it's not interesting, skip it. And if the conversation takes you in a new direction, feel free to talk about anything that's related to it. Okay, so at this time we will go into a new breakout room. Okay, let's recreate this to new groups. Okay, and let's do that.
Also quite interesting for me. So privacy will become a thing of the past. I think that. Sorry?
I think maybe in the UK they say privacy, but we say privacy. I'm not sure what the UK way is. But
okay, I'll check later. So privacy, just to be sure, be on the safe side. I think that's unfortunately probably true because of the digital footprint each of us leaves, whatever we do online. I'm afraid this is bound to come true, to be true.
And how do you feel about that, Hannah?
I feel pretty scared, honestly. I don't feel comfortable with it, but I can't really see a way to avoid it. It would probably mean leaving all the social media, which I wouldn't have a problem with, but even using a computer, even using browsers and search machines leaves a footprint. So it's probably unavoidable.
Yes, that's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah. Any comments on this, Eva or Eva?
I feel the same, but also I'm a bit afraid what this what is going to happen, you know, in this situation with COVID-19, and these vaccination passes and things like that, because this is another level of, you know, I mean, of course, I can influence this. I mean, I might not use social media, websites, and so on, but it's only that when, I mean, somebody has to look for your digital footprint to find out. But with this, like all the governments around the world, and even like restaurants and maybe, I don't know, hairdressers, will be able to see whether you have the vaccination, when did you take it. I don't know, I just feel really that this is going to change a lot about privacy, and I actually dread it. I'm afraid, really, really afraid. I feel like, I don't know, I have a very bleak vision of the future.
Oh, yes. Yes,
It's
yes,
like
yes.
1984, isn't it? The Big
Yeah,
Brother.
and I don't know why it keeps coming to me, but you know, like Star Trek, this TV series, when they lived in the space shuttle, and each of them, you know, the astronauts, I don't know, the people there, they had their own cabin or their room, and I just feel that it's going to be like that. That you no longer will have houses and gardens; it will be just rooms. I know why, but it keeps coming.
Can you think of any? So every coin has two sides, right? So can you think of anything good about that? You know,
of course, I mean, a lot of people would be happy about it, and so as they say, we might live, even though it will be a new normal, it might be very close to the normal. So that's maybe a price to pay. Yeah, it might lose our privacy, but on the other hand, we might get back to what life was like before. So
some people believe that actually this lack of privacy will force people to be more real, more transparent, and to be good. Because if I can lead a double life, I can be a you know, politician or a famous person and be like a perfect citizen in public, but then in private be a completely different person. This new like paradigm that you were talking about, well, will force everyone to be like, oh, well, I can't lead two lives. Everyone knows everything about me, so I have to be good. You see?
yeah, but I think everybody wants to have their secret life. Nobody wants everybody to know everything about you.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. And like you said, there can be, yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a different way. And
But,
go ahead. Something else that I was reading about it's actually this idea of privacy throughout history, when we're in caves or in communities, or even up to the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, and after that, it was only the kings who had, and the bourgeoisie, high bourgeoisie, and the aristocracy that had their own rooms and their own privacy. Most people shared communal space. You did everything in front of everyone, and that was only in the last maybe 100 years, but some people say less, that we have like, oh, this is my room, my bathroom, my everything, you know. So it is, you know, but I understand what you're saying.
it is interesting. It is interesting to look at it from the perspective of the history and see that what we have now is a very short period in the history of the whole humankind. So
Exactly.
it's interesting.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so Eva, maybe we can start discussing the next one, unless you want to talk about privacy.
I think everything was mentioned. I have the same opinion as Hanka and Eva.
Okay, great. So what can you say about the next one?
The other one, by the early 2030s, we will be able to copy human consciousness to a computer. Well, you know, everything is possible. So maybe it will be possible. Why not?
So you think it's likely to happen, or how likely is it? You know, how certain are you?
It's like 50-50.
50-50. Okay.
I really don't know.
And how do you feel about that? You know, copying artificial intelligence or human consciousness, which is the next level. It's not just intelligence, but it's consciousness. Any thoughts?
Like, you know, something which I wouldn't ever think about. So it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it means even feelings, and this human consciousness, that's feelings, or memory, or experience. What is it?
That's the big question.
What is it?
People for thousands of years have been asking that same question.
Yeah. So
some people say we don't know what it is.
Well, I personally don't believe that it is possible. I don't think there is a chance to copy the human consciousness in its entirety to a computer. I think that's what makes us different from machines. And if it was possible, then there would be no difference between a machine and a human being. So for my personal mental health, I believe it is not possible. There
Wow.
is no chance
No
of
chance.
doing that.
Well, but there are the so-called chatbots who behave simply as humans. So sometimes you really have to create some specific questions to find out if a computer answers your question or a person, right? So maybe one day they will find out something which really will enable this.
So a good point there is they say that consciousness can only be understood by consciousness.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
it's kind of like this idea of putting consciousness into an algorithm is just physically possible because only consciousness that we have that is not quantifiable, only consciousness can understand consciousness. But that's, I mean, that's a big philosophical question. So just continue with these topics. I'll check with the other group. And if you have any problems or anything, send me a message and I'll come back. Okay?
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
all right. Yeah. So who knows what the future brings?
Yeah,
All right.
I would say what the future will bring.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Who knows what the future will bring? Sorry.
So which one are you discussing? What point?
Physical money, coins and notes won't exist anymore.
What do you think about that? That's a big topic nowadays.
It seems quite favorable, doesn't it?
I do think this is highly likely that the physical currency will stop or cease. They won't exist anymore because not only is it, let's say, easier to pay by card, but the money also is full of germs and bacteria, which might be a concern in the future. So it might be even taken as a dangerous thing to use physical currency and in fact risk being infected with some germs and bacteria. What do you think, Renata?
Well, I also think that there is quite strong likelihood that there won't be any physical money in the future because of many reasons. This is one of the reasons. Another reason is that, well, I think that we are already on the way using cards on large scale. So I think that it shows that the future will probably go this direction. And there are also some advantages that if you don't have physical money, nobody can steal it from you, or nobody can make some fake money or such things. So maybe for some different reasons like this, it can also be an advantage. You don't, and also it's ecological because you don't have to print them or make them from different materials. So maybe.
And even some countries, even now, I spent probably about a week in Sweden, and I never once touched physical money. I went to restaurants, I went to different places, I took the public transportation, I took the buses, everything, by card or with the phone, 100%. So we already see it right now, but people do have the option. So you see, some people don't have the technological know-how to use all these things. So we give them that option, but it's being phased out slowly. And how do you feel about that? Does this? I mean, Renata said that you were happy about that, right? Because right now you use that, and so would there be some negatives to it? So the positives, the germs, and the practicality, but any negatives?
Well, I think, of course, there is this danger of fraud or of losing money somehow when everything is just virtual. But I think the technology is quite advanced, and hopefully it will only improve in the future to the security-wise. I can see more pros than cons. Sometimes I must say that I don't like touching, especially banknotes, if they're old and seem to be even greasy or not in good quality. I don't like it very much. So I personally do prefer to pay. And now even with a watch or phone, when payment is so easy with just using your watch,
Or in China,
you get used to it.
With the face?
Oh yeah.
Your face.
Right. What about you, Renata? Do you like physical money? Do you prefer to pay with?
No, I would definitely be happier without physical money. But I was thinking about it as we were speaking, and maybe it depends on where you live in the world or how developed the society and the culture is. Because I think that for people who are simpler or less educated and so on, dealing with virtual money is much more difficult if you have to organize the sum and and count what you can spend for a certain amount of time and so on. So maybe this virtuality does not make you aware enough of how much you really have, and that you have to be careful about how much you can spend, because waving with the card is very, very, it's something, it's too virtual, and less educated people or less intelligent people would have, I think, problems with things like that. They would spend everything in the first day, because it's maybe more difficult to, or there are the
keep track.
Yes, a bigger demand on your discipline if you have the card than if you have the physical money.
Exactly.
Yeah, great points. All right, so let's
but Renata, that's a very good point. I realize that it's in fact my problem as well. And that's an excellent point. When I have to pay something with physical money, I always think about it more, and I realize how much I spend. If I have to withdraw money and then it's gone in 3 days, whereas if I just pay with a card, I do not realize, and then I look at my bank account and I'm horrified. That's true. That's a very good point.
You don't feel it that much, like the value of the money, if you just click somewhere or you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's an excellent point.
What about the last point? This is a very interesting point.
All right. Scientists will unlock the genetic secrets that could allow us to live for centuries, maybe forever.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big question. But they're talking about it. Scientists are talking about it right now. What's your reaction to this?
I don't know if it is a good thing or not.
Yeah, why not?
Well, because if the life is not limited, it opens the ethics questions. Like if you know that the life is limited, it makes you think in a certain way about your life, and it's connected with the way how you imagine you should spend the life. If there is no end,
I would use
a very different perspective.
Right. So I wouldn't use an article with the life. I would just say how you spend life.
Life, yes.
There is a book. There is a book by Karel Čapek, a Czech novelist and playwright, called Makropoulos Thing, or Věc Makropoulos. And it's about a woman who I think has drunk a potion or something like that, and she became immortal.
Immortal.
Mortal.
Yeah.
Immortal, okay. And how, in fact, how appealing it was at the beginning, and how terrifying it was in the end, and how unhappy she was. And I also saw a film, I don't know the name. It was about a woman who had a car accident, and she again became immortal. She didn't grow old. And in fact, she had to she start a certain life. She found a partner who grew old, and she had to leave him and disappear after some time, because it became quite weird that he grew old and she didn't. So she had to do this several times, and it was very creepy, in fact. And I don't know if this will happen or not, but I hope it won't.
I think it wouldn't make people happier, actually. It's like end of life does not make you happier. Rather the opposite then.
Okay. So if I could just make one quick correction. Okay, so Yana, you said that the girl had drunken.
I think I said had drunk. She had drunk I meant a potion or something like that.
I see. So you drunk a potion. Okay, I see. Okay, just wanted
that
to.
Was supposed to be an article, not the past participle.
Like, okay, yeah, because it's a common one.
But thank you.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool.
All right.
So we'll go back and just think of one of the highlights from your conversation that you would want to share to the other group. Okay. All right, so welcome back, everyone. Okay, so let's share a couple of the highlights from both groups. Okay, so maybe Yana Shlapakova, can you tell us about, what was the most interesting point that you discussed with Renata?
Well, in fact, I think the most interesting was the topic of money. And we talked about pros and cons of virtual money and in fact paying by card, and how convenient, and the convenience of it. Also, but we also discussed certain downsides of it. For example, well, most of all, the fact that you sometimes lose track of how much you've spent, and it's much easier to spend money using a card without seeing the money, because you don't realize the value as much. I said that if I ever go to if I ever withdraw money from an ATM machine, and then I see 3 days later that I've run out of money, I say, hey, it's not really good. But if I pay by card, and then I see my bank account a few weeks later, I'm horrified how much I spent. Wow. Without having any remorses.
That's true. That's a great point. Yeah, and that's true. One of the things that, digital money and digital currencies are on the rise. Even some central banks will start issuing, digital currencies. And of course, we all know about, the cryptocurrencies. There's a big craze right now for them. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of predictions, that have to do with that. And let's talk to someone from the other group. Let's say Hannah. Hannah, what's the most interesting topic or prediction that you discussed in your group?
Well, we talked quite a lot about electric cars. So, and Eva said that all cars are bound to become electric in the end because of a rule that the European Union came up with. Was it 2023, Eva? That
Yeah, but I'm not sure. But I think it's pretty like
okay.
close.
Yeah. So quite soon, probably we will not produce any more petrol cars, and only electric cars will be produced. So it's very likely that in the future we will have mostly electric cars.
Wow. Yeah. That's another thing. Okay. Great. Perfect. So let's keep moving forward here with a lesson. So the next one. Okay, the next one, we're going to build up our vocabulary here. All right, so we have these expressions, these sentences. Okay, set your sights too low. Okay, viable, capable, boosters, thrill, spell. Okay, should be quite easy. Let's see, how are we doing with time? Yep, we have a little bit of time. So just let's do that. Okay, a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes to build up our vocabulary, and then we'll listen to Elon. He'll tell us a little bit about his project. Okay, so let's recreate this. Okay, and you can join your new breakout room.
Naučili od studentů, how we learn from our students. All right. If you set your sights too low, you will not be sufficiently challenged and will be let down when you achieve your aim.
I would go for number 2.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you think? Oh, yeah. Set your sights too low. Good.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll read B. We had to stop some flights to Spain for the winter.
The boosters, I believe that's one device for increasing force or power.
Yes, I can see. Yeah, the first one, device for increasing force or power. Fine. The biggest thrill is when your team wins a game against the worst rival. So it's the sudden feeling of excitement and pleasure.
Yes, number 3. Good.
Number 3.
I believe so. Then F, the latest success of SpaceX may spell trouble, and I think that is number 5, to mean or to have as a result. Yep.
All right, perfect. So are you enjoying the year so far, Hannah? And do you enjoy like teaching online, or is it challenging for you?
It is rather challenging for me.
Really?
I'm quite disappointed that my students are not as active as we are in the conferences always.
Yes.
I always keep thinking, wow, that would be wonderful if everybody cooperated just like my colleagues here.
Yeah, like you're the perfect class. That's why I'm with you. You know, that's why we're here.
Actually, I just wanted to say the same before we say goodbye. I just think that it was amazing with you guys. So
Yeah.
It's been fantastic. Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, very good. So let's talk a little bit. We'll have some more time to talk, of course. You know, we'll have a nice conversation at the end. But let's just check these very quickly. Okay, so for this one, just to make it quick, let's just kind of maybe just the expression and then which number. Okay. So let's see. Let's start with Eva.
So if you set your sights too low, so it means number 2, have goals which are not considered difficult to reach.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So that's A, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Okay. And Eva, what do you have for the next?
so for commercially viable, I have financially sustainable, number 6.
Correct. So that's B. Okay. And Jana?
Capable, number 4, having the ability or quality necessary to do or achieve a specified thing.
Correct. Yes. Very nice. Okay. And then let's see the next one. Eva, Hannah.
Booster is a device for increasing force or power, so it's D is 1.
Okay, very good. And Renata?
Thrill is number 3, a sudden feeling of excitement and pleasure.
Okay, correct. Yes, very good. And then the last one, let's see, maybe Jana.
To spell trouble means to mean or have as a result, number 5.
Yes. Okay, very good. All right, so before we get into our last conversation, I was thinking we could listen to Elon for a couple of minutes here, and he'll talk to us right here. We have a few questions here where I don't want to focus too much on the questions, but more on the idea. So don't worry too much about this. But of course, if you like to, and if you like the academic side, you can follow along in these questions. But the main thing will be on the philosophical side of space travel. Okay. So let's take a look here at our YouTube video for today. Okay, the captions are on.
We've come to see the launch of...
Let me take off the markings here. Okay, that's better.
We've come to see the launch of SpaceX's next big rocket, the Falcon Heavy. This vehicle can create more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff and is capable of putting around 140,000 pounds into low Earth orbit. That's more than twice the weight that any other rocket currently on the market can carry. So right now, the Falcon Heavy holds the title for the most powerful rocket in the world.
I'm very excited about this launch because I think this is, it's going to really show that we can do giant rockets again. Most space organizations, government or commercial, have set their sights too low. They've really built relatively small rockets. And Falcon Heavy is the first time that there's something that's arguably even in the super heavy class, or somewhere between heavy and super heavy. And showing that you can launch a giant rocket and have it be commercially viable, carry satellites, potentially carry people. Falcon Heavy is capable of actually taking a Dragon mission, taking people around the moon.
Is there any update on that, by the way?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're sort of debating whether to do that on Falcon Heavy or VFR. It will sort of depend on how well the VFR development is going as to whether we focus on VFR for deep space human flight, or whether we do that on Falcon Heavy.
What do you see has been the biggest challenge for making this rocket fly?
The biggest challenge of getting to the launch pad has been that we had to completely redesign the center core. So the load going through the center core is much greater than would normally go through a Falcon 9 rocket. Each of the side boosters is putting in 500,000 pounds of thrust into the center core. So you have an incremental million pounds of force going through that center core, which means we had to really redesign almost the entire stage. All the way through the interstage had to be redesigned to strengthen it.
Okay, well, I have one more question, but I want to know what you're most excited about when you watch this rocket fly tomorrow.
I'll be really proud of the SpaceX team for having accomplished this incredible task. And hopefully we inspire the public to get excited about space again.
But it's not just the public getting excited about the Falcon Heavy. Some customers, like the Planetary Society, are planning on using Falcon Heavy for their next flights, hoping that a successful test launch will spell success for their missions as well.
We are tied to SpaceX. We wish us the best today. So the guy, you know, SpaceX is really visionary, but it really is a fantastic idea. Rockets should be like airplanes, where you don't throw them away, you use them and then reuse them. And so it's visionary.
Now, if everything goes well today, how will it feel to see that Falcon Heavy soar?
Oh, it'll be great. No, so, you know, we flew the first light sail almost 2 years ago. And it's a thrill. We're very excited about it. And the idea is to democratize space, to lower the cost of getting to many destinations in our solar system. And the reason you do this, everybody, the reason a society does this, there are two questions, Lauren, that we have all asked. Where did we come from? How did we all get here? Where did we come from? And are we alone in the universe? And if you want to answer those two questions, you have to explore space.
All right, so we're going to go deeper into these philosophical questions. You know, Bill Nye said that we've all asked these questions. So if you go to your study guide, to your PDF, okay, you'll see that in number 6. Here you have, let's see, where is it? Somewhere over here. Okay. So here, 2 questions. Where do we come from? And are we alone in the universe? So talk about these 2 questions. Have you ever thought about these? Do you think we need to think about these questions? Okay. And can we answer these questions through space exploration? Okay. So we'll take a few minutes here to, and then we'll come back to close up the session as a group. Okay. All right. Perfect. So you can join your breakout room and discuss.
To be something like that. Something, you know, something just
a greater force.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've actually been thinking about it a few times, you know, in my life, and it's such a difficult thing, even in just, you know, to imagine that there has to be something, and then. So I'm more like the metrics fan, like the metrics and something, you know, there's something else we don't know about. So I don't know.
Lately, I have watched several documentaries which presented some theories about this, that we are descendants of some beings that came from the space, and they were trying to present some scientific proofs that it is so. And like, it's difficult to say no, there is nothing about it. You know, it's like it's possible, or why wouldn't that be possible? So it's interesting. Well, I don't say I do believe it really, but I can't really say it's absolute nonsense, because they can prove some things that are not explained in other ways. So, Hannah, what do you think?
Well, First of all, I don't really believe that we have to explore the space to ponder the question of the origin of life. Of course, it might be helpful if we discovered a planet with a life form. Then, of course, we could compare. But I don't really think that will happen. It's very unlikely in my opinion. So I personally believe that life was created. I'm not saying that it's the 7-day creation, but even in the Bible, there's just, I think, an image to make it more understandable for people. But I do believe a greater force being in operation there. That's why I don't think we need space exploration for this question. However, the other one, of course, is a different matter. Are we alone in the universe? We will probably either have to wait for a visit from outer space, or we will have to explore ourselves. So, yeah, for that, we do definitely need to go out there.
And when the people that you speak to, or maybe even, this would be very interesting, your students and teenagers, like, what do they say about, aliens? I mean, is it in the US, studies show that somewhere around 80% of people believe there are aliens. But it's controversial. A lot of people, question the evidence. Who knows what it is? So what do people in your circles say about this?
It's difficult to say because this topic is not one of leaving exam topics. We don't discuss it that often, so I don't know.
Maybe it should be. Maybe it should be.
Yeah, it's a nice topic, but somehow. But I think I saw a similar document to what you were talking about, Renata. A document giving evidence that it could be like that life was
it could be that
from space. And I also think it's possible. So I think that maybe some people would actually go for this option, that like life was either like human beings like we are just settled on Earth, or any other way. I don't know.
Yes.
When I talked to students about aliens, most of them said they did not believe there were aliens, or aliens visited the Earth, or have already visited the Earth. But that's maybe dependent on how you ask the question, because if you show them a picture of an UFO and ask, do you believe this landed somewhere on the Earth, they would say no. But if we discuss different life forms, then I think it would be more even. So if I ask about aliens, most of my students say they don't believe there are any. So that's a difference maybe with the US.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting, this whole thing. And the other thing that we'll mention as a group that I'll talk to is, this idea of exploring, of now our world is the planet, but in the past, our world was limited, like the Aborigines, that was their planet, like Australia was their planet, Europe was, so the oceans and all that was space back then, and so all of these ideas, and maybe we are the aliens. I mean, if we're launching rockets, then maybe we will, travel around and we'll be the aliens. Maybe we always think they will come to us, but maybe we will go to them, or who knows, maybe we are alone in the universe. I mean, there hasn't, so these are interesting questions that, so we'll have a couple more minutes before we go to the main one. So let me just check on the other group and just continue with your discussion.
So we're done, David.
You're done. Anything interesting that you discussed? Anything?
Well, in fact, we both agreed that space exploration is not a topic that we particularly are interested in, unfortunately. But I said that we agreed regarding the first questions that space exploration, or in my view, and Eva said she agreed, that space exploration cannot give us answers or explain or answer the question where we came from, but it could answer the question if we are alone in the universe. Because I said that I was brought up in a Christian family, and we spoke about where we came from quite a lot, obviously.
Of course.
And I just do not think that this is something that can be discovered or uncovered by space exploration.
Yes,
my
of
view.
course. It's, you know, it's a deeper truth. It's a deeper truth. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, great. So we'll join the main room, and I'll give you a few thoughts, for this. All right, perfect. So we'll wait. And so Eva, have you ever thought of?
Yeah. So we.
You know. So Eva, have you ever thought of these questions?
Well, I'm quite scared about the second question. If we are alone in the universe, because
really?
I have watched so many films, you know, catastrophic films. Where aliens occupied our planet, so I am a little bit scared about this.
Yes. I understand, and you see that's the thing. I mean, we all these movies and everything, and the media, you know, they give us a lot of these, you know, these ideas. They plant all these ideas in our heads. But I wanted to share a little bit what I've seen and a little bit from the United States, because it's interesting to compare what people are saying here and what the United States is saying. So with space exploration and all this big topic, you know, like we said, in 1969, it was a big thing. Everybody was watching, you know, everybody was a big thing. And then it went away. And now it's come back. And what are when I mentioned to one of the groups was that this idea of space exploration is not new, and it's exploring outside of the world, whether your world is an island, you know, let's say the Aborigines in Australia or the Europeans in Europe. You know, the 500 years ago or 600 years ago, the ships were their rockets, and the oceans were the equivalent to space back then. And so going into the great unknown, traveling to new areas was part of their nature. The only thing right now is that the scale is different. The scale is different, but it's a very similar process. And we're very excited. Maybe it's because in the United States because many of us are European or from other parts of the world, and we move with that sense of exploration, like, wow, we will find a new land, we will create a new life, we will do that. Maybe it's part of our spirit, and that's why we're so excited about it. But yeah, I think in the US, what the biggest, everyone is very, very excited about this, very optimistic, and we're hopeful that it can bring a lot of good things. And one of those things, and I can share this by email to everybody. So it's by National Geographic, actually. So here it is. Okay, so it's an official one, National Geographic, and it's why NASA plans to slam a spacecraft into an asteroid. So this is a plan that they have this year. You'll probably see it in the spring or summer. I'm going to send a spacecraft on an asteroid. Don't worry, no risk. And they will try to see if they can change the course, if they can, because as we know it from the past, asteroids can hit the planet. And so in this way, it's not just that we're using space exploration and technologies, but to protect our planet. So I think everybody can get behind that. And I think it's very promising to, for everyone to see if we can do this. And if we can do this, then we can develop a defense system for the planet. So if asteroids come close, we can, we can push them away. Okay, so you can follow that, on the internet. It's probably this year. They were talking about maybe April to July, sometime around that. They'll do it. So yeah, it's just something to think about. But anyway, so any comments, anything that you would like to share to before we close the session?
Also, I would like to share something which is not about space, but I would like to thank everyone for joining the classes and being here, because I have enjoyed the classes so much. I did not expect that at the beginning in September or October. I thought I could not imagine how nice it could be and how much I would enjoy it. And I'm very happy about that, that I did not give up at the beginning. So thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Renata. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same feeling. So thank you. It was great. I mean,
Yeah, the same for me.
oh, you're doing the
all the hearts. That's right.
hearts. I have to do mine as well.
That's right. The positive
True.
But
David.
But
Yeah.
I've never, I'm like the Zoom expert, but I had reactions. Okay, I've never. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I got a heart.
Yeah,
too,
in
yes.
fact, and also thank you, David. You were a great tutor. So I would also like to thank you all, ladies, and also to you, David. And I must say, it's been a better experience than I expected. I agree totally with Renata. So even these online classes are not a loss of time.
Yeah, no, and so I have to the same. You've been awesome. I tell everyone like y'all. This is the Texan expression. Y'all, you all, are among my favorites. Pretty much my favorites. And I love to work with you. And for me, it's been a lot. I've learned a lot from you, and I always leave class feeling great. So it's very uplifting. So thank you, for sharing, for being so open. And yes, I wish you all the best.
Yes.
Okay.
We too. Thank you for your lesson. They were very nice.
Thank you.
So happy New Year.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So happy New Year.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
All of you, take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.